very little reaction with the bovine. With the sheep, there's some reaction with the rabbit, and then there's a strong reaction with the IgG. So this tells you that the protein purified was probably rabbit IgG. So this is like a confirmation. If you do good dilutions and you see a better difference between the high and the low, then you can plot it like this, and you can get a binding constant. Does anybody have any questions? So this is basically what you would do for the ELISA. Does anybody have any questions?
Professor, how long do you think that this experiment is going to take? Like if we come in person to do it, how long are you expecting us to complete this experiment? How long do you think it will take?
To do the one, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. How long do you think it'll take for us to complete the ELISA, like the test?
Oh, the ELISA takes two. Basically, takes so let's say if I incubate the assay for you, it takes to do the whole test. So it takes about 2 classes to do it. It's 2 sessions. But let's say if I wanted to make it shorter or easier for you, so you only do this. It's basically the ELISA is divided into 2 steps. And so the step that takes the longest is when you coat the plate. So you coat, and you have to wait a long time before the protein settles at the bottom. But if somebody coats the plate for you, let's say I did it for you, then the rest of the assays will only take, like, I would say 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours.
I guess I'm asking because, like, I know that you're wanting us to come in person, and I mean, I'm fine with that. I just live pretty far, so I didn't know, like, if you anticipated us to come for lab, like if you wanted us there for maybe like 30 to 40 minutes, or if we were going to stay the entire 2 hours of the lab.
Oh, yeah. So once the labs are set up that they take basically they take almost the whole class. So yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, like you can start it and somebody else can finish it. So that's something you can do.
Okay.
And that's what we did last year. So last year, but then every group was there right in the beginning, and somebody will start it, and then somebody that had to go home early. The older part of the group will usually finish it for them. So that will be something that if your group grows, then you have to somebody has to finish for you. Okay, or so let's say there's only you and another person from another group, and then maybe the other person from the other group can help you finish it. Or you could do it together. Yeah, are there any other questions?
I'm just curious, but what are some common mistakes you see while like doing in lab? Like you see like somebody put it in a little bit too much, or they left something too early. Like, what are some common mistakes you see when doing this?
Oh yeah. So the common mistakes, some of them have nothing to do with us. So some of them could be let's say the solutions, because the solutions are prepared, but that it's not that the technicians don't do a good job, but it's just that sometimes you don't have you don't have let's say the buffers may not be okay. Usually they are for the most part, but let's say that one of the let's say the alkaline phosphatase, the substrate, if it's too old, it's not going to turn yellow. Okay, so it's not gonna. The substrate is gonna be, like yeast. When you buy yeast, the yeast is not alive. It's so if it's past the shelf life, that the AP may not work. The substrate, the alkaline phosphatase may not work. So then your whole plate is gonna be colorless. It's not gonna turn. The other thing you can do is the dilutions. So you do the dilutions. or you measure the concentration of the protein. So you start with a concentration of protein that is low, because let's say you measure you use the spectrophotometer. For some reason, you miss the concentration by 1/10. Then you can start with really, really low concentrations, and that can affect the, the outcome. But and normally, the other thing is that you don't let things incubate, and so that's why when I designed this, I only, instead of adding the proteinate and then the serum, I went directly to what the serum and then just one antibody. Instead of using 3 steps, I'm using two, just to make it shorter also. But yeah, those are some of the mistakes. Added Forgetting to add solutions or using the wrong buffer. Uh, in here, the buffers are not as critical, but because here you basically have 3 steps. You coat, you coat, you wash, you go with the one you're testing, and then sometimes you have the primary antibody, sometimes you have two antibodies. So then here you coat, you wash, you block with BSA. You don't block for a long time, so you block. And then if you don't block with BSA, then everything is going to turn yellow. And then you add the fourth step is adding your anti IgG, anti IgG. Okay, so if you let's say you forget this step, or you didn't block for I think you need to block for at least 30 to 40 minutes. And let's say you rush, and so you leave some parts of the surface that are not bound to protein, then this one can take over it, and then everything is going to turn. It's going to turn. It's going to turn yellow. Yellow. If everything is yellow, that means you're not blocking well. So, but for the most part, yeah. But the the buffers, the quality of the buffers are usually pretty good. So you usually don't have to worry about it. But like if the pH is off for a little bit, it might have an effect. But the one thing that could affect us the most is how active the reactivity of the enzyme called the alkaline phosphatase. So the alkaline phosphatase has a shelf life. If it expires, or for some reason it doesn't show and you know where they keep it in the lab, if it doesn't show how old it is, then if it's too old, then it's not going to work. But normally, what I did before is I would go and test everything to make sure that there's all the ingredients are okay. And so, if I'm able to do that, then the only thing that could go wrong is like dilutions or measuring the concentration incorrectly. Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so I'm done for today. If you have any other questions, your quiz starts in 5 minutes, and so you can take it right now, or you can take it later. But the rest of the class was for you to take the quiz.
Right. Thank you, Professor.
Okay, thank you, and please let me know if you're able to come to the lab.
I have a quick question. So on the schedule, it says that we have midterm exam next Wednesday. Do we?
Oh, yeah. So it's not going to be next Wednesday. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I need to go over that. So I'll go over that next week.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
but we do have a midterm, yeah. But I wanted to get at least one lab, that we start doing at least one lab. And so the midterm will be online anyway.
Professor, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So I was 5 minutes late to the class. What was the review about, or what was that about?
So in the beginning, so we were talking about the papers. So that I posted. So we have a quiz today, so you can take after 5. The quiz you can, but you don't have to take it today. You can take it tomorrow. It's due tomorrow. The other thing is the review paper, the research paper. There's two review. There's a review paper, or there is a research paper that you can do that we went over before, or you can do the research paper. And so
Okay.
those are posted.
Okay, yeah, that was my question. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Okay, anything else?
So where would the PowerPoint presentation come into play?
This one. This is the background for for two things. This is background for your exam next time that you take the exam, and also it's also the background for when we do the actual experiment.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the presentation.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So I forgot. So you had the option of doing a review paper, research paper, or you had a presentation option too, right? So that would be also too. If you want to do a presentation on a research paper, you can do that too.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't know that anybody was interested in doing that presentation. But yeah, that will be at the end of towards April, end of April.
Professor, I think I already emailed you a paper that I was interested in talking about. Is it okay? You verified.
About the one? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Sorry, there was a paper that I already emailed to you, and you verified that it was okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that one. Okay, anything else? Okay, so you don't have any other questions? Good luck on your quiz, and I will see you next week.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Professor.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye.